Tanya. Great to meet you in person. It's a bit of a privilege actually, because your backgrounds with all the volunteering that you've done and all the charity work, and you're heavily involved in Scouts.
Yes.
I've got 3 girls and they were involved in Scouts.
Oh,
So
great.
firsthand, they learnt a lot from that. Has anyone else got any kids in Scouts?
Come on, get amongst
Really?
it, guys.
There are kids with the families here, but no, it is a big part. And you won Citizen of the Year in 2020,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Well, I think we should. And what was the feeling of that? Because you've got a huge history in all the volunteering work and the charity. So what was it like to receive that award?
I didn't feel I was deserving, to be honest, because
Yep.
there's so many other people out there that do so much in our community.
Yes, yeah.
So many volunteers. We've
Yep.
got over 650 volunteers that volunteer
Yes,
for Willoughby City Council, actually.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but you know, it's great to recognise people and the work
Yes.
that they do in the community.
Yep.
But as I said, volunteering has just given me a sense of purpose,
Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah.
and a balance. You know, balance. It's really important to balance your work life with other things, and volunteering just makes you feel good because you're giving back to people.
Yeah, yeah. And I notice on the site you've actually got a Willoughby area 5K run every Saturday.
Oh yes, yeah. Actually, I hurt my knee the other. Actually, I didn't do it at Park Walk, we call it now, because there's park runs. I don't know whether does anybody do park run?
Yes,
Excellent.
we got one guru in the audience.
So it's at Artarmon Reserve every Saturday morning, 7 o'clock. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
7 o'clock's not too bad.
Yeah.
But they've got they do Park Walk as well, so you
Yeah.
can walk the route.
It looks like hundreds of people attended, right?
Yeah, there was
every
over
Saturday,
200 on Saturday, for example.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, it's amazing. It's a great sense of community as well, though.
Nice one, nice one. Well, there you go. Jimmy and Winston, you're the locals. Caroline, the team. You'll have to get out there. 5K.
But there's
you
park
can
runs
walk it.
everywhere as well. Like pretty much every suburb has a park run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. That's for Jason. Jason did, what did you do? 10Ks in 41 minutes. So,
Oh, well done. Good work.
So what we did ask some questions from the team, if they could
Yes.
ask them. And the first one comes from Dave, and I guess it's about the social and economic impact of the local area. I know during the lockdown period we had some of our favourite cafes actually. There was a Greek guy that we used to go to. He's no longer there, and some of those. So what's happening in terms of trying to help those businesses re-establish and get back into...
Yeah, well, things like the Roaming Gnomes program and the Emerge Festival, and trying to get the foot traffic back in to the CBD, that's a really important element. That's a way that we can help. We
Yes,
also
yeah.
provide grants for community organisations, not necessarily for businesses, but for community organisations,
Yes,
and that enables them to, they might do pilot programs or, you know, boost their resources and that sort of thing, and we actually administer the club grants program as well, which is they just gave out $600,000 worth of funding to 44 organisations across the LGA. So we administer those, we sort of assess the grants and then decide who are the worthy recipients of them, as well as our own grant program that we have that we run.
Yeah. So that's more the incentives. And has there been a bit of a pinch with the energy rises and all of that side? Yeah, how are businesses dealing with that, and what's the impact? Like, what are you feeling from feedback from the community there?
Yeah, well, I mean, the way that we support that is through our environmental initiatives, and there is an environmental levy on our rates. And the reason for that is so that we can roll out some environmental initiatives across the LGA, things like a solar buyback scheme. There's lots of educational programs. We're part of the Better Business Partnership Program, BBP, which is making businesses more sustainable.
Yes.
So there's strategies that they can, and that's a free service as well for businesses, and it really helps businesses to just to identify ways in which they can become more energy efficient, which will then obviously reduce costs as well potentially too.
Yeah. I mean, one thing we all participate in is the market stall Thursday, like the Thursday, Friday, down here. Locally, I think that's been quite a strong point for the local, the people attending
Fantastic,
it. Are they doing quite well, I take it? Or?
Yeah. They are doing well. I did a little bit of a tour around the markets the other day actually, and did some taste testing actually. If you haven't had the Turkish little kebab things, they're superb. And there's a new one as well, the pot stickers.
Right. Okay.
Hot sticker dumplings, you know. Oh, they were great too.
Nice, yeah.
But Gossamer, you can't go past that. There's the kebabs. And,
very true, yeah. There's the Portuguese.
Portuguese tarts, don't go.
Tarts.
Yeah, don't go there. It's dangerous.
I actually know the lady that owns that, actually, Gloria. It's from Gloria's Cafe.
Okay.
Interesting story. With the lockdown, they closed their shop and they've put up those market stalls, and they're doing exceptionally well.
Better there.
Much better there. Well, they do multiple of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all sort of pre-done, and yeah. Anyway, it's pretty good. We have a question from Anthony about public transport. Thanks, Anthony. It's been a real challenge over the last year. I bet you get this quite a lot. I did see on the Willoughby site, that last one, that week-long one, there was an emphasis on trying to get more buses, but it was really challenging for the
And it was
team.
a last-minute notification about that too, which we weren't happy about.
Yeah.
Look, public transport is not a local government. It's an issue, but it's not doesn't come under the remit of local government.
Yep.
So we advocate strongly. I meet with Tim James very regularly. We see each other, you know, every second day pretty much, but I also meet with him very regularly. He's very aware of it. Just like you guys, there's a resource shortage with bus drivers at the moment. So a lot of the buses are being cancelled because there's just no bus drivers to drive the buses, right? So that's frustrating. I get that, but we are really keen. They're positioning Chatswood as a transport hub, right? Because of the metro and the train line that we've got already. But we need to have those links into the hub. We need the spokes to go with the hubs, right? So I'm really pushing. I actually had a breakfast meeting last week with the Northern Sydney Regional Organisation of Councils, which a number of the Northern Councils are part of. And there was a few ministers there, and I got up and made a note of that. Because we're making some noise. There's not a lot that we can do, but we can definitely advocate. And the more people advocate as well, the more likely there's going to be changes. But it is a real issue. I often look at some of the old photos of the tram line down Penshurst Street and think, why is that not still there? But we've just become such an automobile society. I have to say I drive quite regularly because I've got a son with a disability, so it's easier for me to drive. But it's also because we just don't have the active transport links as well. And Brendan is very passionate about, you know, potentially an e-scooter trial here in Chatswood, and just increasing that accessibility to other ways to get in and out of our areas.
What does that look like, the e-scooter?
Oh, Brendan, do you want to talk about that?
That sounds interesting.
Happy to have a chat with whoever wants to have a chat.
Yeah,
nice one. And I guess the work from home, that was a big one for all challenges for all businesses. Obviously, if you've got a retail facing front, you need to turn up. But in the offices in that environment, the lockdown, we were forced to work from home, and then there was come back and then work from home, and then a bit of a hybrid. What are you seeing in terms of the workplaces in the Willoughby area, in terms of, are they coming back, are you and your team, or is it like a real emphasis to get back into the office, or what are you seeing?
I think there's going to be a mix now of working from home and in the office. I think people there's been a change. There's been a fundamental change in the way that people work and the way people want to work as well. But I think it is really important that we have those face-to-face connections. The majority of council is back to pretty much normal now. I was talking to our CEO the other day because our council meetings have been socially distanced, but I think that's about to change as well. So we're making some significant changes ourselves, you know, and those changes need to lead from, you know, other organisations too. So I guess we're, you know, showing that leadership. It's going to be different, and the way that we do things are going to be different because of people working from home as well. So, you know, the public transport and the way people might use our libraries and other services, retail, for example. I know that Westfield and Chatswood Chase are pivoting too because of the online market now that's so accessible for people. So the retail aspect, people still want to come in and buy stuff. But there's got to be other reasons for them to come in. So there's recreation and other things for them to come to now. So Chatswood Chase is about to get a bit of a refurb, and Westfield has got a DA to put a sports court on the top of the building.
Nice one. Yeah, I think everyone agrees when you're in the office and you're meeting together, you get quite a lot done, obviously face to face, but some of us are still having meetings in the office online on our computers whilst everyone's still in the office. You know, it's a bit of it's a funny one, but
it is a funny one. But you know, those online meetings are, as much as you don't get those sort of idiosyncrasies with you know, non-verbal cues and all of that sort of stuff.
Yes, yeah.
They are so much more convenient often.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So I sit on the City North planning panel.
Okay.
And I don't think we'll ever go back to face-to-face meetings with those.
Right, okay.
And they would have all been face-to-face before.
Yes,
you know, because there wasn't such a thing as Zoom.
Yep. Yeah, true. Yeah, it's really helped. Yeah, we use Teams and Zoom. Yeah, it's a bit of everything. Google Meetup and that type of thing. What about current projects? What's most exciting for you and the team at the moment with the projects you're working on? Obviously, Emerge was huge.
Yeah, Emerge was great, fantastic. And there's always something happening at the concourse. Like Willoughby Theatre Company's got Mamma Mia on at the moment. It's amazing.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, there's only a few nights left, and there might be only a few tickets left, but it's worthwhile seeing. But in terms of big projects, I think I mentioned the Willoughby Leisure Centre. That's going to be massive. So we're closing the centre down mid-November.
Yes.
Really is on its last legs in terms of the pool pump and everything like that. So closing it down, giving it a big facelift, turning pools around inside, and the sports hall is also going to get a little bit of a revamp with some funding that we were able to get from the state government. The Hampton Road upgrade is going to be great as well. That's going to really revitalise our Tarman Village Centre. Okay. We've got $150,000 being spent on Northbridge Baths too, which is good. If you haven't been down to Northbridge Baths, highly recommended. If you don't live locally, come on the weekend, go in your lunch break.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sure the water quality is all right though. There's lots happening. As I said, $10 million. The biggest infrastructure spend over 10 years, not $10 million, it's more than $10 million.
Gotcha, okay. Now, how many of you have actually noticed there's the big LED screen on that concourse there, right?
Yes.
Massive one.
Yes.
How many of you have seen Tim Cahill's ACY ad? Come on. Henrik organised it.
Henrik.
And no one's seen it. I actually took a photo of it. I was like, there's Tim Cahill.
Great.
So no one's actually seen that.
Well, go down, grab a bite to eat from the mall markets, go and sit in the concourse and go and have a look.
Come on, guys and girls, what are you doing? It's a team activity this afternoon, all right? What about workplace culture? Culture's a big thing, and obviously work from home, trying to get that culture is a bit challenging, but back in the office it's a little bit easier, a lot easier.
Yeah.
But how do you work with...
Well, the staff don't actually report to the councillors. The only person that reports to the councillors is the CEO.
Right.
So, you know, we try and, make sure that relationship is great. And we also have a lot to do with the directors. And there's only 3 directors at Willoughby City Council. There's just over 400 staff. Well, it's probably not 400 at the moment because of resource shortages. But so it's up to the CEO to generate that cultural, aspect of council. But there are lots of things that they do. Like they actually yesterday had lunch at Chatswood Oval.
Okay.
So it was the first time since sort of COVID. But it's been a tough year. Like the beginning of the year, end of last year, beginning of the year was the hardest for council in terms of COVID. We didn't have any COVID cases until December last year. And then it's been just so up and down as everybody else has been with, people having to isolate because their family is members sick. So it's hard to generate those, those opportunities for, cohesion and that sort of thing. Yeah. In terms of what we do as councillors, and, we do get along quite well, the 13 of us.
Yes, yeah.
Of course, we're not always going to agree, and that's democracy for you at the end of the day. Yeah. But we go to the pub, don't we? And, we play croquet relatively recently down at the croquet. Yeah.
It's great.
I think we're going to have a trivia night coming up soon, so we'll do that.
Are you done bowls down there?
Not yet, but we could do the barefoot bowls and trivia at the Willoughby Bowler, I think. I think that could be the next thing. We go to conferences as well. Okay. So Jam and I were down at the Australian Local Government Association conference in Canberra earlier in the year, and we took some scooters out for a drive. Wow. Yeah, Jam and I are often out doing selfies and stuff.
Right.
Doing fun stuff together. So we just, we have coffees and try and catch up as much as possible face to face.
Yes.
As well as, I mean, I'm always on the phone to them.
Yeah.
Saying, what do you think about this? What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Because I don't make any decisions by myself. It's not me. I'm just the spokesperson for the council.
Yes. Yeah.
We all have the same voting rights.
Yeah.
I have a double vote if it is a hung vote. But
yes.
at the end of the day, we are all equals.
Yes.
And we might come from different political backgrounds,
True, yeah.
but we all are all independent councillors as well. Nobody's endorsed at Willoughby. A lot of councils do have endorsed party representatives on council, but not Willoughby, which is great because we all vote with our conscience rather than voting for a party. Well, most of us wouldn't vote on a party line. Some of them might do, but yeah.
Yeah. And any, speaking of the employment with the bus drivers and that type of thing, is there some pivot or some strategies that you're employing? Because HR would love to know, and a few of us would love to know. Any strategies? Because I know your husband's also got a local business here as well, right?
Yes, he does, yeah. Oh, look, it's tough. It really is tough. And I don't know what the solution is.
Yeah.
I think immigration might be one of the options. And I was just telling your team before about the population here in Chatswood has actually decreased between the two census dates, 2016 to now, or to 2021. And I guess that's because a lot of people went home, a lot of international students went home. We have quite a lot of international students live in Chatswood as well. So it's trying to get those people to come back because it all sort of feeds up as well. My husband was just talking the other day about something that he saw on TV at Griffith. There's an orange farmer that his whole crop was just decimated. He could not. He needs 200 people to pick the oranges, and they were all fell on the ground. And in Griffith, I think there was 10 jobs at McDonald's. There's 4 jobs at the local pharmacy. You know, they just can't find the staff because all those backpackers have gone, right?
Yes, yeah.
So
true,
the people that did the backpacking job are not there. So it just speeds up, you know, that people are doing higher level work potentially that are not as qualified and, you know, that sort of thing. I don't know what the solution is. Potentially immigration, I think. That might be one. But yeah, having the borders reopening has you know, been good as long as the airlines can get people here.
Yes, yeah, we did used have a lot of international students, finance students that would come through and then jump on the account manager desk and help there. Some really good qualified ones actually. So and that's been zero for the last 2 years. We've really not been able to get one like that. So because they're not travelling out here. So
and that will come back when people gain confidence, I think, and it's partly that as well, confident.
Yeah, Australia's such a popular tourist destination and everyone wants to travel here and be here. So, last question. Thank you very much for your time. But because of your charity and volunteering background, any advice for people here or the staff that might want to get more involved in the local community, what you and the team do, or volunteering in general?
Yeah, sure. Well, there are volunteer opportunities through council, through our Mosaic Multicultural Services. You can volunteer for one of those groups. There's Meals on Wheels, there's companion shopping, there's our events. We have volunteers for our events, so if you want to get a bit of event experience and be involved in our events, then that's a great way to be involved. But just in general in your own communities, look for potential ways to volunteer. Look, I'm a scout leader. That's what I like to do. I grew up on the west coast of Tasmania, so wilderness and the outdoors is just sort of in my blood, and love the water. So you know we've got a little family boat, so we're Sea Scouts. So look for those opportunities. Look for opportunities if you've got kids. Look for opportunities in schools. I was the president of our school P&C, and our school turned 150. So I headed up those celebrations, and it's just a great way to get involved in your community as well and get to know people and have a support network around you as well, which is really important. I don't have family here in Sydney. It's just my own immediate family, but I feel like I've got family through all the connections that I've made through volunteering. So
yes, One last question, actually. I throw another one in, but because of your, I notice you're quite creative with the different groups. You actually run some ladies' events and that type of thing. Yeah. So what does that look like in terms of that, and how frequently do you organise those? And
Not as much as I did,
right,
but yeah, I was actually just saying the other day I need to get book club back up and running. But, you know, start your own book club. If you've got a friend that, you know, you're talking with about books, then go, okay, well, maybe somebody else might be interested in coming along, and just go and talk about your book and have a drink at the pub or at your place or whatever.
Don't encourage too many of them.
No. But, you know, it's a nice way to get to know people as well. Yeah, Girls' Night In for cancer I did for 10 years in a row, which was also really amazing. We raised a lot of money over the years, and I tend to put my hat in the ring for a lot of things. I'm doing the bloody long walk in November.
Right.
Pending this knee, actually.
How long is that bloody long walk?
35 kilometres.
What?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So it is a bloody long walk. But I'm actually training to do the overland track in April next year, which is in Cradle Mountain in Tasmania. So
yeah, I was going to say that a lot of people go to Tasmania for the beautiful walks, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate all that, everything that you've done charity-wise in the local community, and obviously what you're doing now. It really is a vibrant city. In fact, every time we bring on new staff, one of the things HR, the big part is Chatswood.
Yeah.
Actually, the vibrancy of the food and the culture and everything everyone talks about the food here. So it really is quite a vibrant city. So thanks for that. So a big round of applause for Mayor Tanya Taylor.